Everyone tells you the hard part of starting YouTube is camera. It isn't. It is the 6 hours afterwards where you sit in front of timeline, dragging each clip, trying to make a video that you would love watching. That's the wall. That's the limitation of starting a YouTube channel. That's why I'm not able to be consistent, because that's the hardest part. But now I'm able to create videos much more frequently than I used to do in the past, because along with the job, full-time job, I'm able to create videos and edit it because of the AI tools that's coming up in the recent days. I have been using to edit my videos, which is quite easy, but I'm not able to add effects or making it transitions, magical transitions. I'm not able to do that because I don't want to spend time editing in that granularly. But I found out that Claude Code can edit videos as well. And this video is completely about that. What if you could just talk through your edit? You can say, put a caption here, zoom into my face, add a graphic when I say this bit, move my face towards the corner of this video. It just happens as you talk through it. No timeline, no new software to learn, no code to learn, and the tool itself is completely free. Here is what happened when I tried it. That opening you just watched was version 4. I did not build it by dragging different video clips to a timeline. Instead, I just forwarded the raw clip to the Claude Code and described the edit the way I want in normal English, and Hyperframes turned that instruction into a finished video. And this is the video that I actually forwarded it to the Claude Code. The raw one is this one. Everyone tells you the hard part of starting YouTube is camera or algorithm. It isn't. It is the 6 hours afterwards where you sit in front of timeline, dragging each clip, trying to make a video that you would love watching. That's the wall. That's the limitation of starting a YouTube channel. That's why I'm not able to be consistent, because that's the hardest part. Same person, same voice, same footage, but the only difference between these two was a conversation between me and Claude Code. But I do not just want to show you the successful or the final video edit that I just showed you. I want to show you the raw clip as well. Since, as I just told you, this was version 4, there were version 1, 2 and 3 as well. I just want to show you that as well, so that you understand how I landed up in the version 4. How did I optimize, or what instruction did I forward it to the each version of the video? The first version was not good. That is actually the most useful part of this experiment. The real skill is understanding what went wrong in this particular version of the video, and you telling the Claude Code how it can make it better. That's what it needs to be. Like, you have to keep giving or pushing its limits. You have to correct it every single version, so that you end up reaching a point where you are landing into a video edit that aligns with you. Everyone tells you the hard part of starting YouTube is camera or algorithm. It isn't. It is the 6 hours afterwards where you sit in front of timeline, dragging each clip, trying to make a video that you would love watching. That's the wall. Everyone tells you the hard part of starting YouTube is cameras or algorithm. It isn't. It is the 6 hours afterwards where you sit in front of timeline, dragging each clip, trying to make a video that you would love watching. That's the wall. But I found out that Claude Code can edit videos as well. And this video is completely about that. What if you could just talk through your edit? You can say, put a caption here, zoom into my face, add a graphic when I say this bit, move my face towards the corner of this video. It just happens. If you're new here, hi, I'm Achuth. I'm a digital marketer. I'm not a video editor. I'm not a coder. I build with AI and share it in public so that you can understand what works, what breaks, and what I learn while fixing it. In this video, I'll show you 3 things: how Hyperframe turns a normal instruction to edited video, the exact setup and the first prompt that I used to edit, and every rough version and every important step that I used to turn a rough video to its final version. So now your question would be, how can Claude Code edit this video if we are not using it in a timeline? Think of Hyperframes like a tiny film studio from a web page. I describe what I want, and Claude turns that into a web which would be built in an HTML, and Hyperframe films it. It takes photographs of that web page 60 times in a second, and then turns that into an MP4, a video file. So in simple words, I describe it, Claude turns that video into and Hyperframe renders it and turns that into an edited video. By rendering, I mean that converting a project into a final video file that you can play or upload. So that's rendering. So basically, there is a format of how web is turned to a video, and web page is turned by Claude, and from that web page is turned to a video file using Hyperframes. This is very different from the generative AI that's out there, like Runway, Sling, right? So in this generative AI video creations, when you give the same prompt, it will end up creating different video, or the output would be different each time you do it. The same prompt might end up giving you different output. But that's not the case for Hyperframes. Hyperframes is deterministic. When you give the same input, the output will be pretty much the same. Hyperframes, it identifies the pixels and it does not change it. By pixels, you know that this image that is created out there in the screen, it's created by thousands or millions of pixels, right? Hyperframes doesn't manipulate those pixels. It identifies those pixels and adjusts the design, text, fonts out there accordingly. The hyperframe saves those text, they edit the files, the raw footage within a saved project. By deterministic, it does not mean that it cannot be creative. It means that the same output which you may have generated 5 minutes back, you can recreate the same output if you use the same project. Within that same project, if you give the same prompt, it will be able to generate that edited version. The version that I approved does not randomly change when I render it. And this is an open source video editing tool. Analyze this project, install it in this folder, and set up my video editing studio here. So I am creating this video editing studio as a project where I'll be editing my videos moving forward. As I said, I'm not a coder. So my first test was deliberately a tiny one. I asked you to create a 3-second title card that said it works. That small test proved the whole chain could produce a video before I gave it the real footage. When I recorded this was the setup path I used. So this was a quick way of how I could test it out. Even without me providing a raw footage, it is able to render things. So step 1 is proven. So it's working right now. Don't worry, I'll add the entire instruction of how to install it in my comment section. Just go through it step by step and you will be able to use your Claude to edit the videos for yourself. There is one more idea that you need to know before each version makes sense. Claude does not understand, just like humans, we do have a timeline and we watch each of the clip, right? So Claude does not do that, or Claude can't do it. So to find out the precise timing of what text to come at what time, it needs a map which says exact moment at when I said something. So each word gets a clock time. That is how graphics land exactly when you say the thing, right? So when I say zoom in, it zooms in because it read that particular zoom in part. That tool which it uses is called Whisper. This is a speech to text tool, run an API for Sense, and locally if you have a RAM to spare for it. So it's completely almost free. So it does not take any money, and yeah, it understands that speech to text conversion happens over there. That's why it is able to do the exact transitions, show the exact caption when we are speaking out loud. This slide is the complete workflow. First, I give it the clip and a creative brief. A brief is just a clear description of what the edit should feel like. Secondly, it proposes a plan. Third, it creates a version 1. Fourth, I review the version 1 and direct the fixes. Fifth is it renders again. Then I repeat the last 2 steps until the result is good enough to publish it. So version 1 does not mean that it's a failure of the workflow. It just means that we have to give feedback to it so that it's the beginning of the entire conversation. And what I understood after watching many videos and reading out those articles out there is the very first time when you are using the Claude, or when you're using your project for editing the videos, it might take some time, but as you keep using it, it understands what exactly is the pattern that you like and it adjusts accordingly. So this is a raw camera file. It is clean enough to use, but it has no visual explanation, no transitions, no design emphasis, no movement, nothing. So it's a very clean and clear footage. So the version 1 proved that the system worked, but it did not feel finished. Here the words, the wall, are broken across 2 lines. Here a large empty box appears before the content arrives. And almost every idea is placed inside the same white card. So the video feels very repetitive and very amateur. This is the moment where I stopped being a person asking for a video and started acting like an orchestrator or a director. I asked you to make certain changes. So if you are someone who works in digital marketing, you know that every time you give any instruction to a designer for the ad creatives or let's say video editor, you know exactly what to do and how to explain things to that. So you have to do the exact same thing to Claude as well. So version 2 is where the visual design actually changed properly. The broken title was fixed. The large empty cards were removed. The important lines became part of the footage instead of sitting inside identical boxes. The frames also started moving and changing with the story. This was not a magical prompt. It was the result of a specific feedback. Kept iterating and gave feedback to Claude, and I reached a point where I was feeling satisfied. Although this is not the exact or the best version, I can work on it and make it better. But yeah, for the sake of this video, I'm just ended this feedback loop till now, but I will keep iterating as I keep using this project more and often. Hyperframes itself is free and open source, and rendering locally does not use Hedgen at all. But a free tool does not mean that you are not spending any money or token for this. I still use Claude subscription for this, my own review time, my computer's renders time as well. If you want to do it, I was trying to have some background music. I used YouTube audio library to have this background music, or else if I was supposed to use any Hedgen, a terminal, I could have used that as well, but I didn't use that. I didn't want to spend money on something which I won't be using often. So Hedgen is mostly if you want to use AI avatars and all, you can have a subscription for that. But just for music, I don't want to use that. I created 4 render versions for me for this intro part. I don't want to give it a time in terms of tokens or how much money was spent on this intro, because I couldn't really measure this part properly. So I'm not giving out any numbers, but yeah, just so you know what exactly goes behind while editing videos like this. So moving forward, can Claude Code will be my video editor. What I plan to do is I'll be using Claude Code to start the introduction part or hook part, which will be like 1 minute to 1.5 minutes long, because that is the part where you need a lot of processing. I usually make a very plain video without much edit. I use descript for most of my edits. So moving forward, maybe for the intro part, I'll start using hyperframes. There will be a lot of transitions. The word would be looking good. Music would be there. Most of the YouTube videos, if you watch, they spend a lot of time editing the first intro part, which I don't want to do, which I never did in the past, but that's something which I'll be using the Claude Code for. So moving forward, you'll see a lot of this kind of videos coming forward. Let me know what do you think of the intro part in this one and any videos that comes moving forward. So if you want to test this out, do these 3 things. The first is create a project folder within your VS Code so that you can start experimenting with this editing. I will also link, as I said before, check my comment and I have pinned the resources that you need or how to download the Hyperframe skills, and you can use it and add it to your project. I'll explain everything step by step. You can just watch that or read through it. And the first pipeline that you can test it out is just like how I did. Maybe create a 3-second video, ask it to create a video just like I did, saying it works, and it will end up creating for you. It just proves that it's working completely fine right now. And the next step, what you can do is give this Claude with 30-second video footage, a raw footage, and give it a prompt, give it a feedback of how you want that video to be edited, and just don't give your masterpiece, the real version. Just give a random video, let it start, edit it first, and don't give that master folder, right, with a 5-minute long video. Don't do that. Don't start with that. Just give a short video and see how it is working, and then you can start editing your videos. And now you know what happened from the first raw clip that I recorded till the V4, the version 4 of my video, intro video that you just watched in the beginning. The first output was not perfect. The useful part was I was able to give my edit feedback to this Claude in plain simple English until I reached to a version where I feel like willing to publish it publicly. So if editing is a reason why you have not started your YouTube journey, then you could start it now. As I said, you don't necessarily have to edit the entire video. Just start with editing the most important part of a video, which is hook or intro part, which exactly what I did for this one. And tell me in the comment section, how did that go? Was it good? Was it bad? Please do that. And obviously, if you're a digital marketer, you will also start using Claude to edit videos for your clients, for Meta ads, Instagram ads, right? So I am hopeful that I will also start using that. So if you want to see more of this kind of AI experiments that I do personally in my digital marketing field or how I'm using it, so please subscribe to this channel and I will show you the successful version that comes out of each of my experience. And I'll also share the messy versions of what I do, because that's much more interesting. So if you're new to this channel and want to build presentation just like how I showed you how to build a project to edit videos, I have previously recorded a video in which I show you how to create presentation or slides. So the slide that you saw just now, which I used in this video, was created by Claude in just 5 minutes. I have shown exactly how I created that in this video. So check that out as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this video till now. Thank you. Bye-bye.